Episode 131, Joel Fleischman Happy Hour Podcast. We have the maintenance leader out of Kewaskum, Brady McMahon. I almost said Jackson.
Used to be.
Jackson, soon to be Kewaskum. And Nick Narges, Millwork Coordinator Leader out of Jackson, soon to be Kewaskum. Gentlemen, thank you for joining the Joel Fleischman Happy Hour Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
We are, we just cracked the cans. So this is what it's supposed to sound like. Here. So, I guess getting started off here, 131. You guys have not been on the podcast previously. We'll do a little background. So I guess starting off with Nick, you grew up in Campbellsport.
Yep.
Went to high school in Campbellsport.
Mm-hmm.
College at Whitewater. What was growing up in Campbellsport like in terms of what you knew about Drexel?
Yeah, so honestly, I didn't affiliate too much with Drexel. I just knew people that worked here and there, like, you know, the Flitters of the world, McCarty's, all that. But
Tim Lindsley.
Yeah, relatives, Tim, and seeing all the, Drexel trucks going by on my way to school and all that. But it was like my sophomore spring, I was looking for, part-time jobs. I was helping neighbors, do chores, milk cows here and there, and just kind of looking for that, working for someone, not just here and there,
Yep.
One weekend, Saturday nights, but someone recommended Drexel, so got in touch with Todd Flitter and had a good conversation. They were looking for yard help. Obviously, New Berlin wasn't a location at the time, so they were really looking for those seasonal help, in the yard, because the dog days of summer, that really hits hard in Campbellsport at that time. So reached out to Todd. We sat down with Jake Junk right away. Loved it. Got on board there, and then that was my sophomore summer. It was when I started, 2016. So then from there on out, it was just growing, like responsibilities in the yard. Those were the best days. Just learning so much in such a short period of time, just like responsibilities, trust, all that stuff, and communication, getting out, meet builders, making those phone calls to the QBs, all that stuff. So
high school led to college. You just kept coming back.
Yep. Went to college, stayed part-time here. I loved it. I got other buddies from school saying, hey, you want to do this during winter break? I'm like, no, I want to come back to Drexel, do all that stuff. So I loved working at Drexel in the yard. And then toward the end of, COVID hit, 2020. That was my sophomore year. A lot of, uncertainty. Worked with Doughboy, last guest for
Shout
summer.
out Doughboy.
Yep, shout out Doughboys for that summer of 2020. As things got back to normal, I missed Drexel so much. Came back here, and then basically went back in the yard till I graduated college, spring of 23, and then was fortunate enough to get a millwork specialist role at that time.
Yep.
And
so how many summers was that between high school and college then, before you became full-time? Was it
that would have
5?
been 6.
6? Okay.
6 summer and winter. I'll count winter too.
Sure.
So definitely familiar faces. Like, I got to know people really well. So fortunate enough to get a full-time gig here as millwork specialist, and spring of 23 to now, a lot of change. So just being to adapt to that was huge. All that change. So then I was recently fortunate enough to get the leader position for Millwork Coordinator. So
congrats, dude.
Yeah, thanks. Looking forward to just all that time I spent learning. I want to help others, get to that point where they enjoy coming to work every day, like truly enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
So fortunate enough, Drexel gave me the opportunity, and just looking to build on stuff day by day.
For sure. So Brady, being McMahon, obviously, right, there was a merger which everyone's kind of aware of and whatnot, but I guess growing up in West Bend, what was the perception of Drexel, I guess, growing up? Were you familiar with Drexel outside of just hearing the name and being like, oh, building supply, okay, yep, I'm sure they help support builders and things like that. But what was your perception, I guess, growing up with Drexel?
For me, it was they were just a customer, someone we serviced. So beyond that, none of my friends really knew who they were. Nobody I really hung out with. Every now and then you get somebody that would be like, oh yeah, I know who Drexel is. You know, they help build homes and stuff. But beyond that, it was just a customer to us.
Yeah, interesting. It's always interesting too. I think like I've been out at high schools recently, helping with some different internships and kind of promotion, things like that. And it's interesting how many people know Drexel and building supply, but really have no clue what goes on in the inner walls or how big we are or all the different departments that we have. It's still kind of, I think, kind of a big secret, obviously outside to the people that are in it. We kind of know what's going on. But can you kind of talk about, like, obviously, how long were you working with the McMahon family, obviously being a McMahon? Like, how long was your tenure there before the acquisition came with Drexel and all that?
So I started with McMahon. I was about 15, 16, somewhere in there. I think it was like the end of when I was 15, turning 16, all of that. Just started out back, sweeping the floors, putting product away, you know, very basic, this is this product, this goes here. And then as you start to learn what stuff is and where it goes, you kind of graduate to, all right, we're going to let you pick a couple of orders, and got in from there. I started summer helping pretty much all the time. And then when high school started, I was in cross country in the fall, so I'd run cross country, and then once cross country was over, I would go back to work after school. So school let out at like 2:30.
Yep.
Had to be at work by 3, work 3 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then you're good to go. Couple of Saturdays here and there, and just kind of worked my way up, you know, learning the process. This is what this is, building doors, picking orders, all that. And then once I got out of school, I had like a little hiatus. I went to Platteville for a year. Didn't really like it, wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, all right, I'll come back. I'll kind of figure things out, and then I'll go back to school.
Yep.
That never happened. I came back, and then they sent me down to the pre-finish area, kind of helping out down there. We were a little short help.
Sure.
One thing led to another. We lost our pre-finish lead, and I remember walking into Dad's office, Sean, and
shout out, Sean.
and I was like, hey, I think I can do this. I think I can run this area. I kind of know what's going on or whatever. He's like, no, you're too young. And I was like 20 at the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can kind of like fill in the role right now, but we got to find somebody. And then it was like 3 or 4 months later.
So was that an argument then, like back and forth, or were you kind of like, okay, yep, that's what he said?
There was
like,
a little bit of one.
Yeah.
And, you know, we were kind of beefing at work and at home. And I finally was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to show him I can do it.
Sure.
I'm done with that. And so I just went to work. And about 3 or 4 months later, he's like, you kind of know what you're doing around here. I was bringing people in. I had no idea, like, how intricate pre-finish is, how everything meld together. And so I was bringing the reps in, talking to them, figuring things out when I had problems and I couldn't follow through it. Google was my friend, too.
Resourceful. There you go.
And eventually he was like, all right, let's go. It's yours. Let's see what you can do. And working with him, and, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that, and just growing it to where it became now before the merger.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, obviously, again, like, it's one of those things that we talk about, I think, at being at Drexel, like, you have to be a resourceful person, right? You have to be able to use technology and be resourceful. I feel like if you can't do either of those, like, your time at Drexel is very short, right? You just have to be able to do those things. That's an awesome kind of career progression, I think, for you. I guess we'll dive into Nick's stuff as well, too, with kind of what's going on in terms of the millwork team and everything like that. But Kewaskum, you and Joel had just recently did a video.
We did.
Going through a lot of different things at Kewaskum. I guess questions are, where, as of May 8th, where are things at in terms of automation, just equipment coming in? And I guess how soon are we looking at, you know, getting everybody into the building, do you think? That's probably a loaded question in a lot of ways, but...
So that, yeah, getting everybody into the building, that's kind of loaded. The way we think we're going to go is we're going to go by departments. So, and not even just entire departments, maybe departments within each department. Yep. So like the wood door line, the steel door line, not the entire production facility. Within pre-finish, the door area, and then the molding area, and then specials, depending on what's ready to go. Okay. Just a little bit of a slower move. As of right now, we are on track. So when I say on track, our goal is Halloween, and now it's out there, so Sean's probably going to yell at me a little bit.
There will be a Halloween party.
we're going to try for Halloween. The reason we picked Halloween is it seems like, A, it's the fastest. It pushes us the most. It also gives us about a 2-month buffer to like when we absolutely have to be out of Jackson, where if we say December 31st and something goes wrong, now we don't have a backup plan.
Yep.
So the office is kind of up in the air, and I'll let Nick talk about the office a little bit on when they're going to move. But that's kind of what we got going on in production. For automation, we have some really cool stuff coming on with automation. We're pretty much, anytime somebody lifts, twists, handles a door physically is going away. Everything should be either manually assisted lift or full robotic lift, and then forklifts driving everything around. We have an automated door storage system that's there. That's just got to get assembled yet, and they're coming like July 1. Our pre-finish line has been in for about 2 months now. The programmer's coming back on Monday, so he'll start programming. That's about a 2.5 week process, and then we can start training our guys on that and get that up and running. The utility line is on its way, so that's our 1Z, 2Z pre-finish line.
Mm-hmm.
That's on its way. That should be in by the end of the month, and then we'll start working on when install and all that's coming. Molding line's right on its heels, if not in front of it, so about the same time frame into the month, and then working out install. All the production equipment that one gets tricky. Half of it is on the way, half of it's already here because it's in Jackson. So once the new stuff gets in, that gets dialed in, set up, and ready to run, we'll start running stuff through there. And once those lines are efficient and running, we can shut Jackson down in the production areas and bring them over, and then set the new stuff back up and turn it on and go. So a little bit everywhere.
You make it sound pretty simple. I mean, honestly, it's
there's a lot more to it.
It makes it seem pretty simple. I guess, Nick, in terms of office movement and overseeing kind of the quote order teams,
Yep.
What's kind of office movement from Jackson to Kewaskum looking like there?
Yeah, so we actually just went there last week, Thursday, me, Jake, and Sean, to kind of go over, office layout, who's going to sit where. We got a good game plan and set. That might change in 2 months again, who knows, but the Millwork takeoff team is actually, we're planning on them joining us down there. That was kind of up in the air for a little bit, so we constant contact with them with product questions, anything like that, so we thought it was good to have them in the same building, so they're going to be down there next to the quote team's going to be sitting kind of it's hard to explain without, they're going to be in the middle area, and then we're going to be right by Sean and them production people, so that easy back and forth there. So love
so really take off quote order all together and roughly in the same area then.
Yep.
So
Yeah, so we'll be within shouting distance, if we need quick something, we'll be right there. So we got a good game plan for that.
Awesome. I guess in terms of Brady, you're touching on, obviously, like I said, and you made it seem very simplistic with everything that's going on. Is it yourself? Is it your dad and Sean? Is it Tony? Is it Albert? Who is all, or is it everybody, in terms of the different communication with stuff coming in from the outside, people coming back, like you're mentioning, this person's coming back on May, whatever, this person's coming July 1st. Who's all the different people that are really in contact with all these different individuals to come in and help put stuff together, help troubleshoot, or move stuff or whatever?
It's mainly me and Sean, mainly me. And I've just been working with Sean, kind of keeping him updated because he wants to still know what's going on and he needs to know what's still going on up there. But yeah, mainly. And then for Albert and Tony, I'm just kind of Albert calls me once a week. Hey, how we doing? What's going on up there? So just filling him in, what's going on. But also we gotta keep in contact with the fulfillment team as well. So with what they got going on with their Campbell Sport move, flopping Kewaskum, getting siding out of there, getting millwork in there. We actually set up a tactical with them once a week, and we just set up, so that's Eric Beck, John Gitter, me, Sean, Jeff Schultz, and Opie. And we all just kind of sit down, Mike Nolan's in it too, and just kind of talk about what we got going on for the next week, and how are we going to dance around each other, moving stuff around, getting stuff in, when are you guys ready for this, when are you guys ready for that, so on and so forth. So it's a little bit of everybody, but when it comes down to the machinery and who's moving what around and when certain trades are coming in, that pretty much falls on me.
What are you guys this is, again, asking a lot of loaded questions here, but for both of you, what are you most excited about with the move? obviously you have a lot of history being in the old building. You obviously are in there, but you haven't been in there super long, but you have a great idea of what goes on in there. What are you guys most excited about in terms of whether it's getting, again, groups of the Millwork team all together in one building? Obviously, automation, I don't want that as the answer because obviously it's going to help a lot of things, but what are you guys truly excited about with that move?
Yeah, I'll go. I'd say, kind of like you said, everyone right there next to each other. That team bond is like second to none.
And how many people roughly, right now you have 12-ish?
Coordinator?
Within like the coordination team there.
Yeah, right now it's at 13, 14. We're looking to add a few more quote and one more coordinator, but we're trying to build that out to that 15-ish range.
Sure.
So just having all those bodies right by each other, and that's the biggest difference I'd say right now from me being in Camel Sport to Jackson is just that environment. Camel Sport, very, constant chat, like communication, where Jackson sometimes it'd kind of be, grind mode and then sometimes chatty, but kind of combining those, because you do need that time to grind. Like,
right.
Put me aside for 2 hours, let me grind. Where Camel Sport, it was more of that, family-ish feel,
Yep.
Where now to get that in Kewaskum, like just that.
To bring it all together.
Yeah, bring it all together is going to be, that's what I'm.
And there's like 4 or 5 is for takeoff in Camel Sport?
I think they just hired one, so it's up to 5,
Okay.
I believe, if not 6.
Sure.
But yeah, looking forward to just, seeing all the faces, every day, and
Yeah.
just that team bonding.
So you didn't lose the family, just so you know, from an outsider coming in.
Okay.
The vibe up there, you
Yeah.
walk up there, it is just nuts.
I should have mentioned, like, when I first went to Jackson full time, and right before Thanksgiving, that was dropped on me and Hannah were in Camel Sport, and he's like, "Yep, you're going to Jackson." So moved down there, and from that point compared to this point, night and day difference. Like the vibe, like Brady said, vibes up there is best it's ever been.
Yeah,
So,
and I've been down in that area to see obviously running shoe, but then getting to kind of see people in their first couple days. They're the people that we've brought onto that team, and obviously knowing a few of the individuals like Ogie and Hannah and Connor and different things like that. Like, it just seems like a really good group of people. I'm not just
Right.
saying that because we're on a podcast. Like,
Yeah.
It just seems like people that really can get along with anybody.
right, for sure. And if you want to talk about something, sports, family, whatever, like you can talk or bullshit with anyone. So
Right.
that's what I love.
Corn Dog might have some strong opinions at times, but he's a good dude. So.
He gets a little loud sometimes, but no, he's good.
Brady, how about you? Most excited about the move?
Can I say for it to be over?
Yeah, 100%, man.
No, it's...
Do you ever wake up thinking like, oh, shit? Or not really?
I used to.
Yeah.
And then I found this resource called Google Calendar, and it helps a lot. And just kind of going over everything, making sure, like, that's my last 5 minutes of the day, is just go through my calendar and what's coming up in the next 3 days, and what did I have today? Did I get everything done, or do I need to move something tomorrow? And that's really helped. But the thing I'm most excited for is probably, for it to be done so I can actually, like, see it work. I mean, coming from where we are at McMahon, we are still, I don't want to say archaic, but we are. We do a lot of manual lifting, manual labor, hauling everything down. The way we load the trucks is very rudimentary. It just worked.
And it's honestly impressive in that tight space how
Correct.
everybody gets shit done. And, right, because I was down there for a few days, and it's just like, holy cow, like there's a lot going on.
And our flow is backwards. I mean, doors come in, they go north, then they come south to get pre-finished, then they flow back north, and they crisscross. And
Sure.
to see our new flow and the automation and what it's going to do to the entire team, I think that's going to be something cool. I've kind of had a dream that, like, probably about June, July of next year, when we're efficient in the entire building, for about 5-10 minutes, I'm just going to walk up to the break room upstairs. There's 2 windows that overlook the whole production facility, and just stand there and admire the whole thing and be like, yep, it's done.
Take a
And
step back,
It's
kind of.
freaking cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nick kind of touched on it when you were talking about 2020 and COVID, kind of being away from Drexel and wanting to get back to Drexel. I guess, what have you guys noticed that you enjoy most about the Drexel culture? With you like saying like, I got to get back there.
Yeah.
What do you guys love about the Drexel culture?
The people.
Yeah.
We bring in the right people, and just so easy to get along with, your teammates, and making work enjoyable. I feel like too many people today in this country just go to work dreading just going to get a paycheck and come back. We're actually going to work to have fun. Granted, you're gonna have those tough days. It's gonna happen here and there, but just the people around you make it so much more enjoyable, and really builds connections outside of work. Even you go to ball games with people after work and stuff like that. So that's the biggest one for me. And also just seeing what Drexel does for the community. It's just cool to be a part of that and
Sure.
Be affiliated with that and see them supporting great organizations and all that. So that's the biggest thing.
Sweet. Brady, how about you?
For me would probably be, I would say the people as well, but the culture Drexel has built. You're not just a number. You're not just an employee. You're a teammate. You have a voice. If you see something we're doing wrong, talk about it. Let's get a tactical going. Let's get just a huddle going, the pep rallies, all of that. So let's talk about our problems, figure out an issue, and go from there. It may not happen overnight. It may not happen in 2-3 days, a month, 2 months, 3 months. It doesn't matter. But we're gonna stay on it, and we're gonna try and figure out a solution to the problem and be better the next time.
Yeah.
That's probably what I like the most.
Awesome. I guess stepping outside of Drexel, what do you guys like to do outside of Drexel? Obviously, you've been a farmer since day one.
Yep.
Firefighter, slinger, fire
Yep.
department,
Yep.
correct? Right.
I
And
am.
you shared that story on Communities not too long ago about the crazy situation that you experienced.
I did.
But what do you guys like to do on the outside, obviously for enjoyment, whether it's family, friends, just hobbies, things like that?
Yeah, family's definitely a big one. Growing up the farm, you're tight with your family because you're working with them almost, the whole time you're awake, unless
Yeah.
you're sleeping. But, extended family, you included. Love going to the family events.
So I've known Nick since he's 5,
Yep.
through marriage with my wife. So Nick was this tall, and now he literally could throw me through a wall. But your mom also texted me when we did Doughboys podcast, and she said the first podcast she listened to, and she's like, "Wow, you could work on radio."
Yeah.
So if Julie's still listening or listens to this podcast, shout out Julie. But yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, family's definitely a big one. Shout out Britt. She's got 4 great kids, and Austin's got 2. So I definitely got the nieces and nephews to, keep busy with. So family, sports, big one. Football, basketball, baseball. Played a couple years at Whitewater, so wanted to, deep dive into that. Didn't turn out the way I wanted, but I was glad I tried it.
Yeah.
And sports definitely just watching. Standard Brewers, Packers, Badgers, Bucks. Pretty Wisconsin based, but so like to watch that. And then other than that, just getting outside. Farming, there's always something to do. So
Yeah.
if you're bored on a nice 80-degree day, Wisconsin, July, get outside, get some sun, and just get some shit done.
For sure.
Yeah.
Brady?
Family as well. Our family's pretty close, and we're lucky enough to have some property up north. So going up there, spending time outdoors with them.
What area?
Tomahawk, Merrill area.
Okay, sweet, yeah.
Just going up there, spending some time with them, going golfing. I finally joined a golf league with my brother this year, so really get to spend time with him and really hit some balls, which is good. And just kind of hanging out, just like Nick said, being outside. It's so nice. We only get to select a couple of months a year that it's so nice, so take advantage when we can.
Yeah, awesome. And how often do you just still do firefighter stuff, volunteer?
Yep, strictly volunteer.
And how often is that? It's just whenever they need you kind of thing?
Yep. So we're lucky enough we don't have to have anybody on call or ready to go. We have enough guys any time of the day or night. So, but it's whenever the pager goes off, you go running. So I'm about a block away from the fire department, so I just take off running, which is kind of funny. My girlfriend, when the pager goes off, I take off and I run, and then as the truck drive by, she stands in the window waving at me and everything. The dog goes nuts. It's a classic act.
It's a whole thing, huh?
Oh yeah, 3-ring circus at my house.
And how many years have you done that?
This is my 4th year, so I'm 4.5 years in or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
fun.
Well, I guess to finish up here, we always do the billboard question if you have not watched the podcast before. Actually, before we do that, Is Tony Stager a really good athlete? We should actually ask that on the podcast. We'll see if Tony listens to this and stays with us. By not playing basketball, is Tony Stager a real athlete?
I've never seen him play, so I'm going to have to go with no.
Okay.
I'd ask Corn Dog. He's got a little highlight reel of
Perfect.
Stager getting him good, but no, he's played him in high school for 2 years. He's pretty legit.
We tried getting Tony on the podcast. He wanted to duck this for whatever reason. So, billboard. If you have one billboard, it's on the highway for everybody in the world to see. It could be work-related, family-related, inspirational, whatever you got. What would be your billboard and why?
Can you have two? Two sayings?
We have had people stagger the billboards back to back, so yes, you can have two if you'd like.
Okay. Then I got two. I would say real simple, be great today. So basically it doesn't matter what you did in the past or what you're looking forward to the future. As long as you're great today, you'll be great every day. And then if you always do what's right, you never have to look over your shoulder. So
Love it.
As long as you do what's right, you don't have to worry. Good things are going to come.
I always heard a quote that goes very similar with that. I heard Brett Bielema, the old Badger football coach that is now at Illinois, and he said, if you don't lie, you'll never have to remember what you said.
Correct.
And so I really
very similar.
Love what you just said there. Yeah, that's awesome. Nick?
Yeah, I'd say remember your why. That it kind of first came to me when my freshman year, Whitewater Fall Camp 2019. I'll remember it like it was yesterday. It's about halfway through fall camp, getting my ass kicked, 90-degree heat. Our linebacker coach, Coach Rindle, head coach now, shadow coach, he brings all the linebackers into the room. It's like 9:30 at night. We're all exhausted. Like I said, middle of camp, you're ready to call it quits. But he sat us all down and we went one by one. He's like, why are you here? Why are you playing football? And, to see all these big guys, 230 benching, 350 pounds, like open up and get emotional about, people talking about their family and whatnot of why they want to be great playing football. It's not limited to that. It's like, why are you in the spot you are today? Why do you want to be the best version of yourself? And that sticks with me. What motivates you? Why do you, to be like Brady said, like, be honest, be like the best person you can, and just a good human being at work, anywhere. So remember your why. The people that got you to where you are is definitely a big motivation to what got you to where you are. So
for sure. Two good billboards. Actually, three good billboards.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, all good.
You can fit in on one if you try.
Yeah. No, appreciate you guys joining. And 131. We're out.
Peace.
Sweet. See you guys.
Peace.